Andy Purcell. Batting seventh and playing right field, number 16, B.J. Falk. Batting eighth, the center fielder, number 7, Bobby Hughes. Batting ninth, playing left field, number 12, Brian Rainwater. Batting 10th at first base, number 15, Todd Martin. And batting 11th, the additional hitter, number 8, Vince Bisbee. The other members of Resmondo Specialty Tank Work, number 22, Brian King. Number 16, Howie Kraus. Number 6, Dale Rowe. Their coach, number 5, John Rector. The manager, number 33, Frank Webb. The sponsor, number 13, Travis Resmondo. Another sponsor, John Riccio. The travel coordinator, number 1, Cheryl Webb. And the statistician, number 00, Saul Simpson. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Resmondo Specialty Tank Work. And now their opponents for this evening's game, located in the first base dugout. They're wearing the black jerseys, the black pants with yellow lettering, and the white caps. They are AJS Easton 3-2 DSS bats. Their starting lineup, leading off, number 7, the left fielder, Chris Wilson. Batting second, the center fielder, number 44, Billy Moore. Batting third, number 3, the middle infielder, Rich Mueller. Batting fourth, the catcher, number 18, Jose Santiago. Batting fifth, the additional hitter, number 11, Jeff Driscoll. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 24, T.J. Mariconi. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 32, Dave Moore. Batting eighth, the pitcher, number 77, Billy Barrett. Batting ninth, the right fielder, number 8, Dave Garcia. Batting 10th, the second baseman, number 5, Joel Ramos. And batting 11th, the shortstop, number 20, Luis Brena. The other members of AJS, 00, Tony Elrod. Number 4, Adam Rockoff. Number 12, Blake Williams. Number 23, Josh Whittington. Number 39, Pete Campbell. And number 2, Alan Hagg. Ladies and gentlemen, this is AJS Easton 3-2 DSS bats. And the umpires for this evening's matchup, behind home plate from Arkansas, Jason Overlag. At first base from Michigan, Tony Walzak. At second base from Michigan, Chuck Beckwell. And at third base from Florida, Dwayne Posovitz. And so, ladies and gentlemen, these are the two teams who will face off in this first round matchup. Let's get ready to play ball. and taking the field up, he reminds you again of the defensive lineman for the home team of AJS. On the mound is Billy Barrett. His battery mate is Jose Santiago. At first base, TJ Marconi. At second base, Joel Ramos. The middle infielder is Rich Mueller. The shortstop is Luis Reyna. The third baseman is Dave Moore. And in the outfield, it'll be Chris Wilson in left. The center fielder is Billy Moore, and the right fielder is Dave Garcia.
Let's go. Lead the way, go hard. Let's go.
And now stepping into the box to lead things off for Resmondo. It'll be the shortstop.
Back at Disney's Wide World of Sports 2009 USSSA Men's Major World Series presented by Busch Light is brought to you by Worth and Mikan. Here we go with Don DiDonatis leading things off. AJS taking on Resmondo, the #1 seed in this tournament. Resmondo is the visitor because of a coin flip. And a long fly ball there for DiDonatis, and he's going to end up at third.
Nice try out there by Dave Garcia, the right fielder. Unable to track it down as Junior gets over to third with a triple. Our umpires for tonight's game, Jason Oberlag, the pride of Arkansas, the Arkansas hero behind the plate. Tony Walzak down at first, Chuck Doc Beckwell at second, and Dwayne Pasovich at third. We call him Drano.
Greg Connell is at the plate. He's the second baseman for the Resmondo squad.
All-conference player, all-world player, home run champion of the year.
And he pops this one up on the infield, and it's taken by TJ Marconi for out number 1. We just had Dan Smith out on the field, and we saw them get out to a very slow start. But once they started going, they really went.
Yeah, sometimes Bernie takes a few at-bats, an inning or so, then they get loose. But they powered their way to a 26-3 victory.
Jeff Wallace at the plate. He rips it towards left field, and Chris Wilson on the run. And that one bounces off the wall back into the field.
Right off the top of the fence out there. Jeff moves into second with a stand-up double. DiDonatis comes across to score. And Resmondo takes a 1-0 lead. One out on the Cannell pop-out.
So Bryson Baker comes to the plate. And he rips it past Dave Moore. And Jeff Wallace is going to round third. Here he comes, headed to the plate, and he comes across and scores the second run of the ballgame. I thought they were going to hold him at third, Rick.
Normally they do. They don't push Jeff on the bases because of a gimpy knee. But he must have made up his mind earlier, and he scores from second on nice hustle by the big man, Jeff Wallace.
Here's a guy I need to interview. Dennis Ruley. He's going to be inducted into the USSSA World Series Hall of Fame, after this World Series. And he has an opposite field base hit into right. Dave Garcia picks it up.
Bryson Baker moves over to third on the single by Ruley. So now there's runners on first and third with one away, and as Bernie said, Dennis Ruley and right behind him Andy Purcell, both of them will be inducted into the USSSA National Hall of Fame in our national convention in San Diego in November.
And opposite field, that one goes for a base hit, and that'll score a run.
Nice piece of hitting by Andy right between the first and second baseman. Behind the runner, Ruley moves over to third.
So after Bryson Baker scores our third run of the contest, B.J. Falk at the plate with only one away.
B.J. was co-MVP of Conference USSSA with Bryson Baker, who had just scored in front of or behind Jeff Wallace. Ruley's still over at third.
And he hits this down the line, and it's going to turn foul right into the stands.
I want to say this year at the Music City NIT, BJ did not make an out for the weekend. 25 times at bat, 25 times on base. Needless to say, he was the MVP of that event.
Popped up, the ballpark should hold this one. Dave Garcia gets under it. Dennis Ruley is going to tag and score from third. Andy Purcell stays at first. B.J. Falk with a sacrifice fly. And it's 4-0 as Bobby Hughes comes to the plate. And Hughes looks at a called strike.
Bobby also from the state of Arkansas. Not sure he was real happy with that called strike.
Waits on it, and he hits it a liner right at Joel Ramos. And that'll retire the side. Resmondo able to score 4 here in the top of the first inning. We'll continue our coverage of the 2009 Men's Major World Series presented by Busch Light and Easton Sports right after this from Disney's Wide World of Sports.
And ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know about the schedule for what is always one of the highlights here at the World Series. It'll be this Friday night in prime time, starting at 6:45 when the home run contest will occur. Friday night at 6:45, the home run hitting contest will get underway. There'll be a 16-player bat-off to get 4 spots. They'll join the top 12 home run hitters from Conference USSSA action. So it'll be bombs a-flying on Friday night starting at 6:45. As they've taken the field, let me remind you the defensive alignment for the visitors: Resmondo. On the mound, Andy Purcell. Behind the plate, Jeff Wallace. At first base is Todd Martin, the second baseman, Greg Cannell. The middle infielder, Bryson Baker. The shortstop, Don DiDonatis. And the third baseman is Dennis Ruley. In the outfield is Brian Rainwater in left, Bobby Hughes in center, and B.J. Falk in right. And now stepping into the box to lead things off for AJS. It'll be the left fielder, number 7, Chris Wilson.
back here in the bottom of the first. Left fielder Chris Wilson to lead off. And he lines it right up the middle. Bobby Hughes charges in, makes the catch for one away. That'll bring up the center fielder Billy Moore, Rich Mueller on deck. And the veteran Jose Santiago, the catcher in the hole. Bottom of the first, number 1 seed Resmondo, number 16 seed AJS Easton. AJS they won the Conference Beat Championship on Labor Day over at Fortune Road. Had a nice weekend, played last week in the Men's B. And I want to say they finished 2-2 there. Middle of the pack, we had 30 teams. This week at Disney and numerous other parks, we have over 520 teams playing USSSA Slowpitch. Cannell backhands, they're not going to get Billy Moore as he scoots on past first with a single. And that'll bring up Rich Mueller, the middle infielder. You want to thank Disney and their entire staff for all the assistance they have been able to give to us, getting everything ready to go for this tournament, and also the startup tomorrow of Men's C, Men's E, and Women's ABCD. Thanks to Emily and Dustin especially and their staff. Moore right past DeDonatis for a single. Moore over to second, Mueller at first. One away, the bottom of the second. And here's Jose Santiago. Jose, a member, or is on the major player list, which he cannot play below Class B. That's one of the reasons that AJS has to play up in the B. They've talked about trying to play C, but I believe they're too strong for that. Junior right out of his reach, a smash by Santiago. Moore in to score, Mueller over to second. Santiago's at first, and that's the first run in their first inning for AJS. That'll bring in number 11, Jeff Driscoll, the additional hitter. Scrappy team, this AJ Easton. They played Resmondo in the very first tournament of the year and gave him quite a game. Two balls, no strikes. Driscoll, line shot. Rainwater slides to make the catch. Nice play by Brian Rainwater out left. Mueller tags up and moves to third. That's two away. And Rainwater took a base hit away from Driscoll. And that'll bring up the first baseman, T.J. Marconi. So Resmondo leads 4, AJS 1. We're in the first inning here at the 2009 Men's Major World Series. Jason Oberlag with the strike call. Pretty close. Purcell knocks it down. Cannell over to Purcell, covers the base. retires the side here in the bottom of the first. And AJS Easton picks up 1 run on 2 hits, 2 runners left on after 1 complete inning of play. Resmondo 4, AJS 1, and we will return to Champion Stadium in just a moment.
In the bottom of the first, AJS picks up 1 run. They get that 1 run on 2 hits. We'll move to the top of the second and 2 up for the.
Hey, this is Brett Helmer. I'm Brian Wegman. Getting ready to drop some bombs with the 09 Easton bat line.
We move into the top half the second. Brian Rainwater, who made a nice sliding catch for the second out here in the bottom of the first, will lead off. On deck, the first baseman, Todd Martin. In the hole, additional hitter, Vince Bisbee. And Rainwater was the 2007 Men's Major World Series MVP. That ball
and
is
Rainwater
high.
gives it a ride, and Rainwater has a home run. It's 5-1.
That was high and deep and just gets out of the park. Rainwater's beefed up a little bit over the last couple of years and adds some of that pop to his bat with his power.
Well, this, just like that last game, has the potential possibly to be a quick contest. So AJS needs to try to hold on here, trailing by only 4.
That's
and
the key.
Todd Martin at the plate.
That's the key, Bernie. If they can hold on, hold them to a couple, but they're going to have to mark every inning to have a chance.
And probably at least mark a crooked number. They only marked 1 in the first inning. Martin to center field, and a nice grab by Billy Moore, who makes the play on the run for out number 1.
Todd Martin, a member of the USSSA National Hall of Fame. Been around this game for quite a while.
And that brings up Vince Bisbee.
Bisbee, an all-conference player, additional hitter.
And Bisbee takes the first pitch here in the top of the second inning, and he's going to have a looper into left field, into Chris Wilson's area, and it'll go for a base hit. So that's the second base hit of the inning, and we go back to the top of the lineup, and Don DiDonatis, the shortstop.
Reached base on a triple his last time at bat in the first inning. Perennial all-world, all-conference player. Also executive VP of USSSA Baseball and serves on the board of directors.
And DiDonatis hits it on the nose right at Dave Garcia, but that's out number 2.
That ball began to take off on Dave, and he made a nice play out there.
So 2 away, and here's Greg Connell.
Connell popped up to the first baseman in the first inning.
And Connell with a high fly ball into left field. And look at this, AJS holds Resmondo to only a run in the second. We'll continue our coverage of the 2009 Men's Major World Series, brought to you in part by Combat and TPS, right after this.
So now we'll go to the bottom of the second, and 2 up for AJS. Will be Dave Moore, Billy Barrett, and Dave Garcia.
Well, what a great crew we have for you tonight. Rick Robertson, Bernie Gunther with you on the mics. Dave DiDonatis running the third base camera. Matt O'Hara up here at center. Paul O'Leary on break. And we just hope you're enjoying our coverage. It's going to be, at least I think we plotted out, Rick, 24 games we're going to bring your way. So I'm sure that excites a lot of the softball fans around the country as we see out number 1 here in the bottom of the second inning.
That was Moore, and he drove it up the middle. Bryson Baker, the middle infielder, with a nice play, and flips it over to Todd Martin for the first out.
And so there's 1 away here in the second inning, and that brings up Billy Barnett, with Joel Ramos due up next. First pitch is a ball. What do we have coming up next, Rick?
Next up is our number 3 seed, Long Haul Trucking, and they'll take off Suncoast Reebok. And they play the next game scheduled for approximately 10 p.m. That was Billy Barrett that moved down to first, the pitcher, and that'll bring up Dave Garcia, the right fielder. Ramos is on deck.
Oh, thank you. So Garcia at the plate with Joel Ramos behind him. And it gives a little bit of a fit for B.J. Falk, but he's able to track it down. Out number 2.
B.J. not known always for his defense, but for a pretty good-sized fella, he covers ground out there pretty well.
Two away, and Joel Ramos is at the plate.
I was able to go down between games. Bernie, we've got quite a crowd here tonight.
I know, we're just trying to get a hamburger, and it took about 20 minutes.
Well, I think a lot of them were expecting Home Run Derby to be here tonight, and that's actually going to be on Friday.
Is it normally the first night or no?
In the past, we've always had prelims on Wednesday and then the finals on Friday.
But we're just going to cut to the chase this year, right?
Well, we have the top 12 hitters in the country. They get a bye, and we have one representative from each team. That's 16. They'll hit off to get to 4. Those 4 move into the finals, and we have a 16-player final for the Home Run Derby. Live here Friday night.
Garcia moves to second. Or excuse me, Ramos draws the walk. Garcia was retired, and that brings up Luis Reyna, the shortstop. And he cranks it towards Bobby Hughes, and Hughes is under it. That'll retire the side. AJS blanked in the bottom of the second. 5-1 as we head to the third here at Champion Stadium.
Retires the side. AJS goes down without scoring. They scram two. Will go to the top of the third. Due up for Resmondo will be the heart of their order. Wallace, Baker, and Ruley.
Resmondo is up by 4.
Leading off will be Jeff Wallace, the catcher. And he leads in a number of categories, or is a top part of the top 15 since the year 2000. He is number 6 in home runs, number 6 in batting average, number 3 in total runs, number 2 in most hits, and number 2 in most RBIs.
And he sends Dave Garcia on the run, and it's over his head. Off the wall, Wallace trucks around, and he'll head to second with a leadoff double for Resmondo.
Looked like a Tiger Woods fade to the right. It starts towards center, ends up off the base of the wall in right center field. And Jeff moves easily into second with the double.
You wonder how much trouble he had out there on the golf course yesterday after seeing that.
I'm telling you.
It's a power fade.
He hit that ball.
Bryson Baker at the plate. He singled and scored in the first inning. And he hits it down the line, but fouled just over the bullpen. Had the distance, just did not have the direction.
As I said earlier, Bryson Baker and B.J. Folk were co-MVPs for Conference USSSA this year in 2009.
And Baker takes a look at that pitch for a ball. Wallace is on second. Baker hits it towards the gap. Billy Moore tracking in, and a diving effort in center field. And he robbed him of a base hit.
Nice diving play, stretched all the way out. Dove to his right, snagged it. The left-hander Billy Moore in center field with a phenomenal catch for the first out of the inning.
Dennis Ruley is at the plate with Wallace in scoring position. And Ruley cranks this one down the line, but it's well foul. And the lights were worried on that one.
Ruley singled and scored in the first. Resmondo only with a 4-run lead here in the top of the third.
Opposite field, Dave Garcia watches it. It one hops into his glove. Jeff Wallace will move to third, and there's runners on the corners with one out.
And the RBI opportunity for the pitcher, number 19, Andy Purcell.
So that'll bring up Andy Purcell. Andy Purcell singled in his last at bat. And he watches the first pitch. And he watches ball number 2, Rick.
Billy behind Andy's going to have to put it across. You don't want to walk him. Andy's not happy with that swing.
Opposite field, Dave Garcia backpedals, and it's into the bullpen. That's a 3-run home run.
I didn't think he'd be happy with the swing, but that ball just kind of jumped off his bat. And it got out of the park right there. Bernie, as you said, a 3-run shot.
So Andy Purcell clears the bases. He scores Wallace, he scores Ruley, and of course he scores himself. And B.J. Folk now at the plate. Only 1 out here in the 3rd inning. And that one is ripped past Ramos into right field for a base hit. Everybody but Bryson Baker getting aboard here in the 2nd inning.
So far, so good for Resmondo. Ramos put the deep shift on. He was playing shallow right. Still had to dive to his right and was unable to make the play. So BJ on first with 1 away. 8 runs in for Resmondo. Only 1 in 2 innings so far for AJS.
And Bobby Hughes. A fly ball to center, and Billy Moore is there for the 2nd out of this 3rd inning. So there's 2 away.
I've noticed one thing tonight, Bernie. Resmondo is taking the extra base on the bases. You remember in the first, they moved Wallace in to score on a single. BJ tagged up at first, went to 2nd here, and Ruley's come around to score in the first as well. And these guys that normally don't do that are hustling all around the bases tonight.
Brian Rainwater, home run in his last at bat, is at the plate. Rainwater waits on it, and he cranks this down the line. If it's fair, it's gone. And it's just going to curve foul at the last minute.
That's out in the direction of Don DiDonato's senior's vehicle.
Obviously, Rainwater didn't get that memo, I'm sure.
I don't think he did. That could have taken out the back windshield. They call him Monkey.
And Rainwater testing it again, and again this one cranked foul. And wow, that one was right into the corner where the car is. Nevertheless, that retires the side. 7 runs, the advantage for Resmondo. Will be back. AJS bats in the bottom of the 3rd from Disney's Wide World of Sports. And here we go with the bottom of the 3rd inning from Disney's Wide World of Sports. Resmondo is up by 7.
Chris Wilson, the left fielder, leads it off here in the third.
Andy Purcell pitching for Resmondo Specialty Tank. And this one hit forward to the gap. Bobby Hughes is going to have to race over to cut it off, and Chris Wilson going for the extra bag. And Hughes just lets him have it.
That ball tailing away from Bobby Hughes. As you said, he surrounded it, got it back in, and Wilson hustles into second. And that'll bring up Billy Moore, the center fielder.
Billy Moore, followed by Rich Mueller. Chopped on the ground. That's an easy play for Greg Connell. Out number 1 here in the third. Only 1 run scored by AJS so far in this ball game. It came back in the bottom of the first inning. Rich Mueller down the line is going to score the second run of the ball game for AJS.
Mueller shoots it right on the line. Wilson comes in to score. So that's 2 runs in now for AJS with 1 out.
And Jose Santiago coming to the plate.
The veteran player coach. Catcher and pitcher also. Nice guy, one of the nice guys in the slow pitch softball, Bernie.
And he watches the first pitch. Hit on the nose right at Rainwater, and Rainwater reaches up into the atmosphere and pulls that one down for out number 2. Brilliant effort by the left fielder.
Rainwater snags it, as you said, right into the atmosphere, and he is known for some of the most fantastic plays defensive-wise in the game. Never be surprised at what he chases down and brings back into the park.
So Jeff Driscoll comes to the plate.
Jeff's been around the game quite a while as well. He can hit it.
And he hits it towards Bobby Hughes, backpedaling at the warning track, and he nearly crashes into the wall before he retires the side. AJS able to tack on 1 more. It's 8-2. We go to the 4th at Disney.
So that's the side retired here in the third. AJS picks up 1 run. They get that 1 run on 2 hits. We'll go to the top of the 4th, and due up will be Mark Bisbee and Tita Nice.
And a leadoff single here for Resmondo.
That was Todd Martin, the Hall of Famer, leading off with a single. In all-time USSSA, he is number 4 in most at-bats with 371 in his career.
Bottom of the lineup in Vince Bisbee at the plate. And Bisbee sends Garcia to track that one down at right field, and that's an easy first out. Resmondo scored 4 in the first, 1 in the second, and they tacked on 3 in the third inning.
That's given them a total of 8 so far. And AJS 1 in the first, 0 in the second, and 1 in the third.
Popped up down the line, and that one's going to fall.
Cannell's the batter. DeDonatis at first, Martin at second. There's one away, and we're in the top of the fourth. Questioning Jason Oberlag, the umpire. Cannell didn't like the call. Frank Webb came halfway out.
Swung on and diving stop by Chris Wilson. And I actually disagree with this call. I wish we had the replay. I thought that when he slid, I saw the ball hit the ground.
Pretty close call out there.
That's one where we wish we had enough staff to show you the replay on. But I got my contacts in tonight, Rick Robertson, and when I just saw the eye doctor yesterday, he said that I was seeing 20/15.
Wow.
So I think that I have a pretty decent chance that I might have that one down pat, but pretty sure that one fell and hit the ground on the way in. Nevertheless, they'll call it out number 2.
That moves Todd Martin over to third, DeDonatis to second. DeDonatis scrambling back to first. There was an overthrow that got away, and he ends up at second. Martin at third. There's 2 away.
And Jeff Wallace, who's doubled every time he's come to the plate so far in this game, is at the plate.
Yeah, you had one off the top of the wall in left center, one off the base in right center.
Just waiting for the home run, right?
He is way up there in all-time home runs since 2000. In fact, he's number 6 with 43.
Popped up. Moore has it. I think the ballpark will hold it, and it does. Side retired. Resmondo blanked in the 4th inning. Bottom of the 4th we go. 2009 USSSA Men's Major presented by Busch Light, Nationwide, Easton, and Boomba. All right, bottom of the fourth inning. Is this an opportunity for AJS? We will see.
That's Marconi, rips it past Ruling. Nice try by Dennis Ruling, unable to make the play. And Marconi sits on first with a single.
So Dave Moore at the plate after Marconi has a single here in the fourth inning. Resmondo blanked in the fourth inning, and that could come back to provide at least an opportunity for AJS.
Only 8-2. If they get 3 or 4 here, it can get them within a couple, make a difference.
Popped up. Bobby Hughes has out number 1. Great crowd on hand at Champion Stadium. And they've gotten to witness some pretty good softball so far. But obviously the games will get better as the weekend progresses.
That's Billy Barrett, the batter, the pitcher, the opposing pitcher. And Andy didn't like that call.
Into right field and caught by B.J. Falk.
Nice running catch by B.J. And Marconi tags up and moves to second. And that's the second nice play out there by B.J. Falk.
Fly ball to right field.
That'll bring up Dave Garcia, the right fielder.